Bantamweight bout. Kyler Phillips coming back to action, sitting at minus 190 against Raoni Barcelos, who sits at plus 160. Over, under 2.5 rounds. The over, minus 185. The under, plus 155. 36 years of age for Raoni Barcelos. Filling in on short notice because Kyler Phillips was supposed to take on Said Nurmagomedov. Pulls out. Barcelos steps in. He's 2-3 in his last 5. Phillips been off for a while. 4-1 in his last 5. There was talks that he was got cut from the UFC or he was a free agent or whatever, but turns out he's not. And he's coming in here as a favorite. He hasn't fought since February of 2022. So he's been off for about a little less than a year and a half. And talented guy for sure. 28 years of age. He's going to have a 5-inch reach advantage in this one, coming in as a favorite. Who you liking in this one?
Yeah, I do like Kyler Phillips here because of the age factor and the not activity as far as fighting so much, but in the octagon, he does throw good volume. Both guys throw decent volume, but Kyler's just a little more. I don't know. He looks better in my opinion than Raoni will on the feet. And Raoni, being at this age, he's 1-3 in his last 4. He's either winning by decision, he's losing by decision. I guess knockout by Umar in his last fight, which is also a little bit concerning coming off of a fight like that. But at this age, against a young dude like Kyler Phillips, who is pretty explosive, he will get takedowns, he will control you, land a little ground and pound here and there. I know Raoni does have a super high takedown defense, but I think Kyler should have enough success to pull this thing off. The one thing that does scare me is that we've seen Kyler kind of fade as fights goes on because he is trying to get all these takedowns. And if it doesn't happen, he can get himself into trouble. And like I said, man, Raoni's got this 93% takedown defense over, a pretty decent amount of UFC fights. And he's fought a lot of pretty decent competition. So I do think Kyler wins. I'm going to pick Kyler. But as far as betting goes, I'm going to be watching after the first round. Like if Kyler comes out here, uses a lot of energy, gets a couple takedowns, throws a lot of shots on the feet, and it was clearly his fight, I think you can get Raoni Barcelos in the second round at a pretty big number, and it might be worth taking a flyer on because, like I said, Kyler could gas. He could get a little tired as this fight goes on. Barcelos has enough experience, has been in there with guys like this to where he could maybe weather the storm and start taking over as it goes on. So interesting fight. I'm picking Kyler to win, but like I said, I'm going to watch that live bet.
Yeah, it's a interesting fight. Both guys have lost to Victor Henry, so that's something. But at the same time, look at Kyler Phillips. It's kind of that forgotten guy just because he hasn't been inactive. Like he was looked at as a really solid prospect coming up, and it's going to crack the rankings. I mean, beat Song Yadong back in 2021. That win ages pretty dang well. That was on the Blachowicz Adesanya card for anyone that remembers that. But he had the loss to Raulian Paiva and pretty much lost how you just said. Like he had a great first round and then kind of gassed out. And the next 2 rounds he lost. Some people gave him a 10-8 in the first round. Ultimately loses. And I think he took that fight as like a big learning lesson. Came back in the next fight and got a round 3 finish by a triangle armbar. So I look at that as like, all right, he kind of knows that if he goes all in the first round, he can gas out and maybe just fought that a little bit more smart. But then he's been off for, over a year again. Barcelos, he's been in there a lot. He's been pretty active. The knockout loss, don't really like that, but he's been off for, 6 months. So I will say that's probably enough time to recover from that. He was supposed to fight Miles Johns just a few weeks ago, or about a month ago, actually. That fight got canceled, so he's stepping in here. I think Kyler Phillips gets it done. Barcelos, probably a little bit past his prime, but a live dog for sure if he comes in with the right game plan and he just stays in it and just, he's a dog and grinds it out. He's definitely got a chance, but I think Phillips is the rightful favorite in this one. I'll take him.